hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. I know y'all know what time it is. It's damn near halftime. And this is why I didn't watch the game. Also, the Buffs game, which is going into the half at 38 to 7, is not sold out. Can you guess why? The game is not sold out, and you could probably guess why. This is why. People knew that this is what would happen. People knew. Now, I've said it. The bright spot about the game is Shedeur being at the game. That's it. That's it. Shedeur being at the game is the bright spot for the game. That's it. I know y'all got a lot to say. I'm gonna just be live through halftime. We're gonna talk about this. Hold on one second. So we're going to give y'all space to talk because I know y'all got something to say. Shout out to Omarion for one hell of a touchdown catch over the defender for Arizona. A lot of penalties. Yaya got a penalty for brandishing a weapon. I guess that's his hand. I don't know. A lot of penalties happening against Colorado. A lot of penalties caused by Colorado. In fact, people were swearing that Caden is just the worst quarterback out here, and he goes and make the longest touchdown pass of the night, and it's called back with 2 penalties, one on Omarion and one on Yaya. Now, let's talk about it. The game started off slow, not a surprise, because why? We didn't get the quarterback warmed up. We decided we was going to do what we always do, fill out the defense. While Colorado is filling out the defense, Arizona is scoring points. So they get up to 17-0, and suddenly Pat Schumer wants to call run pass option for Caden. Then, when Colorado gets it together, finally, then the defense decide we don't want to play. So then they over there struggling. I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I mean by this season is toast, bro. The refs calling all sorts of kind of penalties, right? They said if JoJo hadn't thrown his hands up, nobody would have known he was holding. I'm sure a lot of people make that same thing, but I'm pretty damn sure we're going 4-8. I'm not willing to bet on it just yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going 4-8. I'm pretty sure we're going 4-8. And when I think about last week's Coach Prime going after Doc Livingston on the sideline, Coach Prime hired Doc Livingston, right? So now he mad at him, right? We believe Coach Prime hired Pat Schumer, and I told y'all Pat Schumer is taking his team down, and Doc is also helping. I'm pretty sure they're gonna harm it with Coach Prime. Why? Because the goal in the NFL is to do what? Snuff out the Sanders football legacy. We even want to know how it is that Travis Hunter hurt his knee, but he gonna be out for 4 weeks, and they didn't know what was wrong with his knee. I was like, maybe they don't want him to play because they don't want him to ball out because of Coach Prime. Now, what happens when Coach Prime is gone? Not at CU next year, if it comes to that. They gonna be talking about Travis a lot, right? Coach Prime is influential in his position. Then there's the Sanders football legacy they're trying to snuff out in the NFL. Got rid of Shiloh, holding back Shedeur. And if I move Coach Prime out the way, he has no impact on who coming into the NFL. The quarterback, I think, that came to visit us signed with Texas Tech. People keep saying because the bag is different. It's not just the bag. If you think he only went there for the bag, he would have never came to visit Colorado. If that's the same kid that came when Caden Salter had 12 reps, thanks to Pat Schumer, that's why he didn't come. And if that's a different kid, oh my. It could be a different kid. I don't know. But why anybody wanted Colorado to get another quarterback? We haven't even seen what Juju could do. And yes, there's a rumor that supposedly he on the way out. The bright spot of this game is Shedeur. That's it. The media trying to figure out what Shedeur and Ray Lewis talking about. The players that do play all kind of penalties. People breathing down Caden back. He finally make a touchdown. The second one would have been his second touchdown And it's 2 Colorado players penalties, Omarion and Yaya. The tight end Atkins finally gets in. Look like he might be impactful. Then the defense can't give the game away. I'm like, okay, this is what I meant by Colorado is a layered onion. The layers just all peeling back. I don't know how long Yaya been at Colorado, but why does he not know that brandishing a weapon is a penalty? Why does anybody at Colorado know that you can't taunt? That holding, don't throw your hands up because you just giving them the penalty. No pass interference yet. No pass interference. So I want to hear what y'all are saying because y'all know what I'm saying. They trying to fire Coach Prime. I'm pretty sure it's going down. I'm pretty sure it's going down. I'm because there's no point to doing all of this unless you're gonna do it this year and next year. I'm pretty sure that's the point. And the way they've been running out here finding $50 and $40 million to pay coaches to get the hell on, they're gonna find $44 million. So let's see what y'all are saying. Because I'm standing by what I said. These kids can win, but now, hell, we got a few bright spots, right? Ivan Yates, Tawfiq Bayard. If Caden had more eligibility and can go to another program, he gonna end up like Baker Mayfield. I'm telling you. People said it. Is Caden trying to throw the game? Because he can move the ball. Right. There are no plays called for him to move the ball in the first beginning of the few drives that Colorado had. But suddenly, after the game is out of reach, 17-0, Pat Schumer called it run pass options. Most people say Pat Schumer start off slow to feel out the defense. He felt out the defense so much the offense ran it up 17-0, making it harder to come back. And when CU gets on the board, the defense can't get it. Then when the defense get it, we got players making penalties after a touchdown is made by the quarterback. I'm just like, okay, this ain't gonna go well. I don't know who's gonna be at the next game because this game not even sold out. If this game not sold out and the next game not sold out, and all of the tickets were sold out because season tickets were sold out, you tell me. All right, so hey, it said, well, another loss, Arizona, or in position to do it, huh? Well, another loss, Arizona are in a position to do anything, right? Hey, Miss Pamela, how you doing? It say, I don't know what to say. They trying to fire Coach Prime. Nope, they're not looking good. I think we're going 4-8. I think the only school we're going to beat is West Virginia. And then again, we might go 3-9. It said, this isn't looking good. Nope, it's not supposed to. It said, Arizona just scored again right before the half. It said, we're going to lose a lot of recruits. That's the plan. That's the plan. It said, we're going to lose a lot of recruits and players this offseason. And unfortunately, Juju might be one of them. That's the plan. And if Juju leave, or Marion leaving too, that's the plan. It said, I don't know how Coach Rob Livingston can cash his $62,000 check every 2 weeks. I'd be racked with guilt, but he's not. I saw his face when Coach Prime was coming after him, and I told y'all, he act like he ain't worried about nothing. He wasn't even shocked that Coach Prime was coming at him. There is a thumbnail out there. If I can get it, I'll show it to you. Let me see if I can find the video. Hold on. It's not a coincidence. They just taking turns. Somebody gonna write a tell-all book. It might be Caden. And think about it. Coach Prime brought in Rob Livingston. So what does that tell you? What I said last year. What I said last year. What I said over the summer. When they paid Livingston before they paid Coach Prime, and then they came back and gave Coach Prime that contract, I said Livingston gonna be the next head coach. Yeah, there's a whole, somebody has a thumbnail out there with, and I wish you could see Doc's face. It says just what I said, right? It's the face of somebody that's not worried. And just like Stefanski has help or support, so do they. And if they keep Coach Prime another year, it's just to make sure that the dagger is in really far so that he does not emerge in a Power 5 again at all. They don't care about the HBCUs. It say you got a world, you got to watch, ride or die. What's that? It said, wait, they announced CU slid out this season for home games. Yeah, they did. But at the same time, this game is not sold out. So I don't know what's happening. 43 last week at the half, 38 at the half this week for $125K a month, Coach Livingston. Right. And again, Coach Prime coming at him and he laughing. And Coach Prime know what they doing. I'm pretty sure he know what they doing. But see, I'm going to just say this, right? We've said this all along, right? When the season started, Coach Prime made his decision with Caden. Coach Prime brought Caden in, I'm pretty sure. And we pointed out how people were advocating for Staub, and he got up there and looked miserable. But it caused confusion in the program. It made Coach Prime look bad for moving off of his decision that he was like, of course Caden is a quarterback. Why are people asking me that? And it's like when he did that, they came for him. It was like, okay, we're going to show you who's boss, right? And Pat Schumer been showing us who's boss. And he let them get up 17-0. Then Caden can run. Then Caden can score. And then when it looked like we get some momentum, the players themselves take their own self down. I'm just like, I don't really think at this point anybody cares. I don't know what Coach Prime is thinking, but the players have already, whatever it is that they plan to do, they just out there auditioning. Right? I'm pretty sure they're going to Herm Edwards, Coach Prime. I'm pretty sure we're going 4-8 or worse. And if we go worse than 4-8, they're going to talk about year 1 and year 3. They're not going to talk about year 2. And then they're going to talk about Travis. They're not going to talk about Shedeur. All the media wanted to talk about with Shedeur was what his conversation was with Ray Lewis, which is nosy as hell, bro. It said, peep the video of Shedeur's return to CU with Coach Prime. CP has a photo of himself and Pat Schumer on his desk. He is trying to tell us something. Okay, let me just go ahead on and say it out loud. Let me just go ahead on and just say it out loud. Okay. Thank you for that, Ms. Pamela. I'm going to take this down because it's had me. Okay, let me just go ahead on and say this. All right. I told y'all Pat Schumer was going to be Coach Prime's biggest regret. And it is. And he might not know it yet. Now, remember when there was a game and people were asking, the journalists were asking Coach Prime about Pat Schumer. I think it was a Georgia Tech game. And he said we had 300-something yards run on us. And y'all asking about the offense. He was talking about Livingston way back then. He was pointing out that Livingston is problematic, but he's also pointing it out because why? Colorado paid Livingston before they paid Prime, and they paid Livingston handsomely. So it's not a surprise that we get to a point in the season that last week we see Coach Prime yelling at, trying to go after Livingston, who running away laughing. Livingston know what he's doing. So does Pat Schumer. What I don't like is how they messing with these kids' careers, and they gonna help certain kids find certain programs. Caden gonna be stuck out in the cold, so I suggest he get that tell-all book together because I don't think he has any more eligibility. And I'm pretty sure he's there because of Coach Prime, who, in my opinion, turned on him. Don't care what y'all say, get mad if you want to, but he did. Even though he tried to make it right by going to Caden. You didn't get rid of Pat Schumer. And that was Caden's problem from the beginning. You got to get your quarterback warmed up. Who's the quarterback coach? Who's the quarterback coach? Who's developing the quarterback? What did the reporters, the announcers say last week? Pat Schumer got to get a plan for Caden to escape. That had happened 9 games in, 8 games in. They showed Coach Prime on the side talking to Caden today. Here's what Coach Prime should have did from Georgia Tech on. Second half for Georgia Tech, somebody else should have been calling the plays. Caden should have been the quarterback. and we would have saw a whole different scenario. You know, I don't give a damn what school you go to. There's certain skills that a quarterback embodies. Just like Shedeur. He's damn good at Jackson State. He's damn good at Colorado. And he's going to be damn good in the NFL. For what we already saw with the Panthers, he will be damn good. Whether they let him play or not, he already showed you what he could do. Same thing with Caden. Caden is in a messy situation just like Shedeur. But the problem, even though Coach Prime is sticking with Caden, because you can't go away from it, because you told him you were going to stick with him. Oh, shit. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. That's why I say if it ever go out, just hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. Okay. So here's the thing. We've said it multiple times. Colorado, what's happening in Colorado? Hold on 1 second. Colorado is happening in Cleveland. The problem is, I can see that Coach Prime sees that Livingston is the problem. And I know he felt some type of way when Livingston got that big contract while they were working on his. And I felt like even with the Georgia Tech, when he said, y'all worried about the offense, but what about the defense? So see, he got an axe to grind right there, right? Then he tries to bring in Byron Leftwich. But then Leftwich leaves because why? He said too much politics. What that tells me is Coach Prime was going to try to move Pat Schumer out the way because Pat Schumer's contract ends this year, but not Livingston. The next thing you know, Pat Schumer out here throwing games and advocating for Staub and holding Caden back in his NFL year. And Coach Prime goes along with it. And that causes all kinds of problems. And then Staub gets in there and look like trash. And that causes all sorts of kind of problems. The season was a fork. You could put a fork in it right there. Because apparently somebody was listening to kids. And then somebody knew how the kids would respond, so they pushed up Staub. So at one point, just for about a week, it looked like Coach Prime and Pat Schumer against Caden Salter. But then Coach Prime has to backtrack and go back to Caden. But Pat Schumer's still doing Pat Schumer, taking Caden down in his NFL year. And Coach Prime is pissed off on the sideline against the defense. So now people calling for him to be fired. They're calling for his coaches to be fired. They're calling for the recruiter to be fired. And until Caden scored that touchdown, they were calling for him to be replaced. By who? Juju? I wouldn't get involved in this mess because this is a hot ass mess right now. I saw Jordan Seaton talking to Shedeur on the side and Jordan go sit down. He had a penalty. Yaya, Omarion. These kids don't normally play like that. So what I see is Coach Prime sticking with Pat Schumer, but that's the one that's taking him down. That's like Shedeur sticking with Kevin Stefanski. But what did I say? There were people close to Shedeur talking about Steph. And I told y'all, that ain't smart. That wasn't smart at all. And it's not smart for Coach Prime to align himself and continuously align himself with Pat Schumer. Get mad at the defense when we all could see Pat Schumer's problem. And if Caden had one more year and he went somewhere else, he'd be like Baker Mayfield. You know how defeating it had to be for Caden to get that touchdown, finally connect all the way at the end of the field, and for 2 penalties to call it back. One was Omarion and the other one was Yaya. You know that happened to Caden in another game, but it was Omarion. I see a hot mess. That's what the hell I see. I see a hot mess. It said Buffs are not beating West Virginia. Well, they going 3-9 then. Because they said Coach Prime up to go 4-8, and they go Herm Edwards him and use year 1 and year 3 and say you can't get it done without Travis. So we just don't give you your $44 million and hey, Doc, here, how you doing? That's what I see. That's why I don't think he could have removed Pat Schumer from the play calling, even though bringing in Byron Leftwich, trying to half elevate Brett Bertolone, says that's what you were trying to do. And Pat Schumer stabbing him in the back. Somebody gonna write a tell-all book. And it need to be Caden, because they did him dirty. And I said it on X. Anybody out here only blaming Caden? This was early on. I said, you ain't watching this game. Hey, how you doing, Roger? How you doing? How you doing? Players leaving. Yep. Players leaving. Fans not gonna show up going forward. This is the second blowout. I mean, serious blowout before the half. You ain't coming back from this. You're not coming back from this. Time for the boosters to come up with the cash. I'm pretty sure that's what they're working on, Roger. It said the recruiting bus now has 4 flats. Facts. Dion was checked out as soon as his sons left. That's what people gonna say. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be like, he can't coach. It was Travis. They're not gonna give Shedeur the credit. Some people do. Some people are like, oh, Shedeur, why don't you get out there and play? That's some of the comments that I saw when the game was on. Here's the thing. I don't want to hear no more Bliss blaming the players. You could blame the players for the penalties. Yeah, you could do that. But that ain't the only thing that's happening out here. It's really not. It's easy to blame the players because you're not paying attention to zone versus man or the schemes or who's really on the field. When Coach Prime went after Doc, he lost it. I keep calling him Doc, Rob Livingston. He lost it. And Livingston was laughed at. That tells you that the chaos been behind the scenes, and that's been brewing since CU paid Doc. CU had no reason to pay Doc. They should have paid Travis and the rest of the buffs from last year, like BJ Green and Cameron Simmer-Craig that are in the NFL. But you see, they ran off and they paid Doc. I told y'all that was shady. And here we are with a season that Coach Prime can't win. And now we got games. You ain't going to win these games. And if they let you go 4-8 and they come down in that field and fire you, Herm Edwards, they're going to blame you. They're going to put a dagger in your career so you can't coach in the Power 5 no more and influence 14 players, most of them black, going to the NFL because that's what they're trying to stop. And they're doing a pretty goddamn good job of it. But see, the problem is he should have took the headset from Pat Schumer at halftime for Georgia Tech. But I think his angst was in Doc's direction. Because that early on, he didn't want to believe that they were both setting him up. And they are. And they don't care. Who knows it? Everybody has checked out. Yep. It says stop is not the answer. Right. Salt is your best option. But definitely got to stop getting scored on. Yeah. Well, that's the defense, ain't it? It said, I am tired of the same old plays being called. It's obvious the DC watched the game film and are ready for the plays to be called, and they gain no yardage. Mm-hmm. It says Salter struggles with pressure always has the entire career. Unfortunately, he may have to empower himself with his own QB coach. His career about to be over with after the last game because they say he has absolutely no eligibility. It says Shedeur invested in himself, right? And Shedeur showed a video, and I think I see a play coming, but I'm gonna wait. Shedeur showed a video with him getting treatment. Lauren was up there. So now Shedeur doing his own QB coaching, and then he got to do his own treatment. Does anybody think that Cleveland is going to let Shedeur do it? I don't think so. Everybody say he got to play. Everybody thought he was going first. I think, let me tell you what I think. I think they're going to boot Coach Prime out, and then they're going to boot Shedeur out. That's what I think. That way, Shiloh gone, Shedeur gone, Coach Prime gone from the NFL influence world. Gone. Don't be surprised it happened on the same weekend. I was actually going to look up the schedule and see when Colorado played their last game. Because it's giving Herm Edwards. I don't have to give away the plays. All I got to do is start the game. And from every game from here on out, I just start us slow. And y'all think I'm looking at the defense. No, I'm giving them time to get it together. And then you could come back out here and you can play as much football as you want. But the moment CU gets their footing and can get momentum, then the defense is taking shots. I'm like, okay. Staying and aligning with Pat Schumer against Caden, 'Caden, 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 ' because that's exactly what's happening to Shedeur. And the people who surround themselves around Shedeur, cozying up, calling Coach Kevin Stefanski Steph. Shedeur can go get his own treatment if he wants to. He can go out here and get his own coach, and they become more defiant every week. And I hope y'all know they got support and they working with the NFL. Too much mess. That's why he left. That's why Byron Leftwich left. Too much politics. He came in to do something in particular, and apparently people must have objected. Who is the quarterback coach? I still don't know the answer to that question. Who is the quarterback coach? Who's developing the quarterback? Last week, Pat Schumer didn't even have a plan for Caden to escape. Why? Because he don't want him to escape. Caden is caught up in this mess and got to play out the last few games of his career. Maybe he didn't resign himself. I ain't worried about the NFL no more. Maybe he got another option. And that's probably good anyway, because they was going to probably let him go and draft it anyway. It said, CU is expected to mutually part ways with Deion Sanders, Pat Schumer, and Rob Livingston. What's football? What? Rob Livingston, what's football, Livingston? Oh, okay. We gonna see. It says Salter sabotage. Salter didn't sabotage the season at all. At all. As I said, people blaming Salter. You're not watching the game. How many points did people score on us? 38? What's Salter got to do with that? Come on now. The touchdown he had, the longest pass touchdown, and they called it back because of 2 penalties by CU players. You can't blame Caden for that. That was the turning point towards the bottom falling out. It said the portal is going to be brutal. I don't even think it's going to matter, because I think all of them finna get fired. I think they finna clean house. I'm not saying they going to move Doc out. I'm not convinced that they moving him out just yet. They gave him that money for a reason. They either gave him that money for his performance so far, or they gave him his money to assure that when they fire Coach Prime, they already have that. If Rob Livingston is the head coach, that should let y'all know this was a setup all the way through. And Coach Prime probably saw it. They running all over their field. Them players, they bruh. It said, if we kept Staub and worked on getting Juju up to speed, bruh, you got to let that go. Staub is not good. Staub don't have NFL aspirations because he's not good. No, he just flashy. No. It said, Salter, people keep blaming Salter, don't want to admit. The same people that's blaming Salter, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They fire Coach Prime, they're going to be like, oh my God, he should have never got fired. It was Caden Salter for it. No, it ain't. The worst thing Coach Prime did was turn on Caden Salter to align with Pat Schumer, who's now taking him down in the worst fashion ever. 2 games back-to-back blown out before the half. That's on the defense too. The offense is held down while Pat Schumer decides to scope out the goddamn defense. Really? Come on now. That was bullshit when people said it. This is one more mess. It is. It's just a hot mess. Echo, you got to stop the pipe dream, boo. You got to stop it. Staub is in playing. All right. Who's playing? That's crazy, but okay. Cart said, yes, we're losing. Staub is in. So based on what I saw, how the hell is Staub in the game and the defense that gave up 38 points? That's what I'm talking about. Caden actually made a touchdown and the goddamn players called it back. I guess that's Caden Salter's fault too, that Arizona just scored again. This is what I'm talking about. It's 44-7. If I'm Caden, you know what? Leave me on the side. Go out there. Because what the hell is he going to do? What are he going to do? Really? This is what I'm talking about. You take Caden out after this man score, and it's 2 players that committed the damn penalty, and he taken out the game. But are they going to be taken out the game? Is Yaya still playing? Is Omarion still playing? This is the same BS before the U of H game. That's why I said it's trash. It's trash. It's trash. I don't give a damn what they do at this point because you're gonna have to do what Pat Shermer and Rob Livingston let you do. They said they put Staub in before Juju. I don't know what they're holding Juju on the side for unless he said he gone. Staub just tossed the pick. Right. Now how bad does Coach Prime look? Why do you keep coming at Caden? It's not Caden. Caden scored a whole touchdown. And that's what Caden was talking about in one of the earlier games, the game where he threw a touchdown. Omarion gets a holding penalty, and it's called back on Caden. The same thing just happened. And they took Caden out the game. Now they taking Caden out the game, but Omarion still in the game, can commit the penalty. Yaya still in the game, can't commit the penalty. And now you done put in Style to make a pick, and you look like an ass. This is crazy. He's making his own decisions. He's definitely making decisions to try to pacify. It's too late for that. Because the same people you're trying to pacify are the same damn people that's cheating your season. There was no reason for Colorado to be savage and pay Rob Livingston that kind of money when he wasn't the one even doing the work. But if he the head coach next year, hell, they might go all the way. See, here's the thing. When you partake in your own demise, when you align with the enemy, this is why Staub out here throwing picks. He ain't good. Why you don't put Juju in? At least the crowd, at least salvage something. What the hell do you keep going to Staub for? This kid was your third string quarterback, which means you went back on what you said. Juju was your second string. Why is Staub in over Juju? That's what I'm talking about. You allowing other people to make decisions for you, and they gonna get you fired. And maybe that's what the fuck gotta happen. Because this why I ain't watched the game. This why I ain't watching. Because I knew Pat Shermer was still calling the plays. I'm sure he was scoping out the defense while the offense for Arizona went 17-0. I noticed Staub was allowed to run and run around and score a touchdown finally. And then when he got it together, the defense decided, you know what? It's our turn. And then the kids start making penalties. I'm like, okay. And now Staub is in the game. Why? Staub has proven who the hell he is. And then people on gonna be screaming for Shedeur to play. Well, maybe when they stop trying to screw over Caden and maybe put in Juju, maybe Shedeur get in and stop playing with Dylan. I don't know. It's the same thing. Why are we out here putting Staub in the game? Where's Juju? Did he decide to leave already? Is he dressed out for the game? Did y'all see them curly little locks? Or is he not there? Did he already leave? Perhaps. Why is Juju not playing in the game? If this game is a toss, let me guess. Staub gonna be QB1 next year? That'll be a way for Coach Prime to keep his job. Because if he can't even roll with Juju. So you're gonna lose Juju. You can keep your job, but Staub gonna be your quarterback. Oh, okay. All right. Or are they gonna go pick a white quarterback for you? That's what they're gonna go do. That's what they're gonna go do. Of course, he threw an interception. He trashed. Juju should be out there. Actually, Caden should be out there, but Coach Prime is not going nowhere because he has more than just the coach. Okay. First of all, they don't need him. They got all the connections and a relationship in place to make the damn Prime effect run on its own. That's it. I don't need that no more. I got all the TV deals. I know exactly what to do. The fans, if we got the TV and we got this, they already changing the culture down there on the field anyway. I'm trying to figure out when Staub became QB2 over Juju. Because at the Georgia Tech game, if I'm not mistaken, Coach Prime said what? Caden, before Georgia Tech, pre-game, Caden was QB1 and he hoped Juju could get in there. Stop. Yeah, we should have put Juju in. I don't know what this Staub thing is about. I don't know what it's about. He put Staub in over Juju. Right. Nope, I think Lewis out there, y'all. I think I see Lewis now. So Staub got in through a pick, and now we on our third quarterback. This is what should have happened from the get-go. Why does he have to keep putting Staub in? Juju looked like he about to get down to the 40. All right, Juju balling. Juju playing. Juju getting somewhere. What is legs? Now, what y'all think need to happen for the rest of the next game? What needs to happen for the next game? Hell, Panther should have got in too, but they got Juju in, guys. Juju just like he got a first down too. All right, it says Staub walks to the sideline. All the players turn their heads. Right, because that was crazy. Shedeur is young. He will be playing in the NFL next year. Pipe dreams. Fumble. We got to get the ball back. Shedeur need to put out more of his individual practice videos. For what? Another interception. Stop. Right. Here's my thing. Who convinced Coach Prime to go in that damn locker room and not put Juju in, but to put in Staub? Thank God Juju got in there. But Staub had to throw 2 picks first. Why would Staub be in over Juju? Coach Prime said he knew what Staub was. He see what happens at practice. Why are you bowing to the pressure? Flag on the play. Looked like it was going to be a touchdown from Juju to Omarion. Let's see. Of course, there's a flag on the play. Pass interference, they saying. Touchdown. Pass interference on Arizona. Juju Lewis getting the game for 2 minutes and score his first touchdown. And Coach Prime don't look happy. He should be happy because that's what he should have been did. I don't know where Staub comes in at. So from Juju to Omarion. Nice pass. Nice pass. So let's see what the rest of this game look like. Let's see what the play calling look like. Let's see what it looks like. All right. So the crowd, there we go. The crowd is engaged. We scored 45-14. Again, all right. The sideline is cheering for Juju. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Juju is in there. I want to know why Coach Prime don't look happy. He ought to be happy. Now it's 45-14. We could actually maybe get somewhere. Not that we're going to win, but I'm just saying, right? This is obviously better than what was happening before, but let's see what happens. Y'all let me know if y'all see Juju with a sleeve on. I'm curious. Commercial break. So how y'all feeling about that touchdown? All right. So there we go, guys. Let's see. I'm checking in to see what y'all saying. I was live tweeting earlier. So all right, let's see what y'all thinking. Let's see what y'all thinking. People are leaving. They gonna come back because Juju just scored. No Juju after he reclassified to come here. Something smells. Yep, and he got out there. He got out there. He got out there. He got out there. I hope Juju leaves. He just scored, guys. He just scored. So Staub got in through 2 picks, and Juju gets in and scores. Staub was 0 of 2 with 2 picks. That's wild. Now Juju's playing, and Juju scores to Omarion. Touchdown. I don't know what the hell going on over there, but I don't know how the hell it is Staub get ahead of Juju. When Georgia Tech, it was Caden and Juju. And U of H, it went from, it was Staub by himself. Juju has never had a game by himself. For the rest of the way, if you don't feel like Caden is the dude, this show number 2, not Staub. So where the pressure coming from about Staub? Passion? Because he's cerebral. CP out here acting like Stefanski. That's because Pat Schumer running the show. Sugar Creek said it's over. Juju is the QB for the next 3 years. We gonna see. Because I don't know who the coach gonna be. We gonna see. Proud of Juju. Don't forget now. Don't forget. Pat Schumer's still calling the plays. Let's see how he calls the plays for Juju. Now, mind you, this game is out of reach in his mind. You got to look at the last 3 games. So they showing Caden on the bench. I think he's to Juju. I guess they sit next to each other. Let's see what happens, guys. I don't think he the one doing making the coaching. That's the problem. That's the problem. We feel like Coach Prime got to change his coaching. Coach Prime got to better get rid of Pat Shermer. If he make it past this year, some hook of the crook. No sleeve. Okay, he has no sleeve. All right, so let's see what happens. So they said Juju not wearing a sleeve. I'm on commercial break, so we're gonna see what happens. Damn, he damn near scored. Arizona. We don't have no defense at all. And again, they paid Rob Livingston all that money. They're about to score again. I think the final score gonna be like 63. I'm like, they look like they get ready to score. They made it down to what, the 5-yard line? Now it's 1st and goal. They just got the ball back. No sleeve is BS. Why is Prime? I don't know, because he should have a sleeve. So let's see. Coach Prime a real one for that adjustment. That adjustment should have been made. And Staub should have been nowhere near. Staub is not QB2. I don't even know why that foolishness is allowed. Who are we placating? Juju shouldn't have to come in after Staub throw 2 picks. What the hell? Shedeur told Juju ignore Shermer BS play calling. Hell, probably. Probably. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. No more Martin Luther. Yeah, that was crazy. They should have never stopped. They should have put Juju in after the half. Right. It should have never been stopped. If Coach Prime say he at the practices, he see that Staub is the 3rd string, then why you buck to that? Like, don't do that. You went and got a 5-star Juju. You put him behind Staub. Come on now. Touchdown, I'm sure. If not, they damn close to it. He realized he being set up. I hope he do. I hope he do, because he gonna be caught off guard just like the draft if he don't. Time to move on from number 3 for the rest of the season. I ain't gonna say that. It's time to move on from the goddamn. You know what? You can say that. You can say that. You can say that, and they're gonna spend the other 3 games showing you that it don't matter who the quarterback is. You gonna see. You gonna see. We don't have nothing to gain in this game. We not gonna come back by 45 points. They ain't even finna let that happen. Touchdown. They just playing with our face now. So Juju's fine. I think Juju's fine. I don't say play Juju from here on out. I say get the hell rid of Pat Schumer so we can win the last 3 games. But you know what? I love for people to see what I'm saying. Go ahead on and let Juju start. You go right ahead at a game from the beginning and watch the same thing happen. Can we even go to a bowl game right now? We'd have to win the last 3 games, right? Or is it 4? I don't even know how many games it is. Freshman linebacker Goldberg. Damn, it looked like people leaving, huh? People left the game. The middle wide open. Only the ref. Everybody on defense scared, but Merritt. What? Taufik Bayard is a dog. He's a dog. The score is 51-14. Lord have mercy. They haven't put Montrez Walker or Goldberg in the game at linebacker. They haven't made that rotation. They're not rotating on defense. Wow. The defense has to fill in some major pores. Well, Juju's in the game. A lot of people, they say left. I'm happy Juju in the game. He should have been number 2 up if that's what you wanted to do. But again, we don't have nothing to gain in this game. This ain't the game. It's the next game. I say, but see here, this is where the rock and the hard place is, right? Who do you start the next game? And I don't want to hear Stop name nowhere in the mix. I really don't. And I think people were saying that there had been pressure for Coach Prime to play Stop because something about not playing the right players, this, that, and the other. I'm like, if you gave into that, like, that's why things are a mess. You can't be bowing to pressure because people want you to play the third string quarterback. Why they didn't pressure for Colton Allen to play? Why they didn't pressure for Ponder to play? You can't let these people run you like that. That's why I said, if something happened here, just let him go back to HBCU or don't even worry about it. Just because they just gonna keep on and on and on. How many games left? Let's see. Let's see who we got left. Score is 52-14. On the schedule remaining, we got 3 games left, y'all. Next is Saturday, November 8th, West Virginia. If Juju start that game, I'm in favor of seeing Juju start that game, right? It's nothing really more that Cater can do with his career. He don't have no more time left. I say let Cater let Juju start this game. And the reason why I say that is because Coach Prime seemingly gonna roll with Pat Schumer to the end of the season, which is a big mistake. If the game is trash against West Virginia with Juju, and Juju pull it out and they win, and they go to Arizona State, and Juju is the quarterback, and the play calling is trash, Coach Prime gonna have no choice. But Pat Schumer's contract is up. The problem is you let it bleed out. And then there's Kansas State. It don't even matter who the quarterback is. It matters who the play caller is. You just like I said, right? If you put Caden out here and he's scoring touchdowns and the players get penalties, how you gonna blame Caden to take him out the game? But you don't blame the play caller for starting the game slow and the defense for allowing 17 points in the first quarter. If I'm Caden, you know what? You can have it. You can have it because y'all done trashed me enough. I believe they are running. Yeah, somebody is, Tina, for sure. Somebody is. Somebody definitely is. 3 games left, guys. It's 3 games left. At this point, it's just lack of want to be on defense. No sense of urgency. I mean, shit, the game is 52 to 17. Or what is it? 52 to 17? I would start Salter. I want Juju to leave, to be honest. Oh, you do? I mean, that might happen anyway. Because really, any game that Juju plays, if he looks good, if Pat Schumer calls some decent plays and not trying to hold him back to, which I'm convinced he is. See, y'all think the move is to get Coach Prime to move off of Cater just because this is his NFL year. No, the fact that they went to Staub at the number 2 tells you they want Juju to be behind Staub next year to run Juju off. It is way deeper than Salter. That's why I'm like, people not paying attention to what's happening here. Staub being at the 2 with Salter gone says that Staub is the QB1. And then what the hell that's going to happen to Juju? This just as rigged as the damn NFL. No coincidence. That's where they came from. Worst decision ever. Worst decision ever. They want Staub to be the QB1 next year. Juju running to the right. Juju got some legs. He out there running. Caden just gonna have to accept the fact that, you know, his career decision to come to see you and he don't have no more time. And Coach Prime better let Juju play so he can keep Juju because they trying to run him off too. They trying to run Juju off. They want Staub to be the QB1. There's no, you tell me why it makes sense to have Staub come out there at QB2. Come on now. Stopped. Juju got a pass. Did he get a first down? Oh, Atkins, 4th down. 4th and I don't know what the hell that say. 4th and 12 or whatever. I don't know why I'm looking over that. It's right here in front of me. All right, come on, Kate. Come on, Juju. Keep saying Kate. Come on, Juju. All right. Come on. Punted the ball away. Yeah, just roll with Juju here on out. Just roll with Juju here on out because you're gonna learn some things. You're gonna learn some things. You might learn without Kata leaving that Kata ain't the problem. You might learn that because in the Delaware game, Juju and Kata both got set up so Style can look better and play against U of H. Looked like a disaster. And then they still somehow got Style number 2 behind Kata. Bro, I don't even know what it is they calling. I'm not even paying attention to that. Why is there a chicken at the game? What the hell is that about? Why is there chicken at the game? Why is there chicken at the game, y'all? Well, I like the fact that Juju got in. I do not care for the fact that Staub got in before Juju because that tells me the positioning has changed from what it was originally intended. For Caden to be the starter, for Juju to be the 2. They just somehow finagle Staub in there that he got to get out there and show what he could do first. And then if he don't succeed, Juju, the 5-star, gets in over Staub. This better be the end of that. And if they want to go back to Caden and versus West Virginia, if something happened, then it needs to be Juju. That's what it needs to be. I don't like this whole Stop mess because he already proved he's not the guy. How do you work your way up from QB3 to QB2 and you've been a disaster every time you take the field? Just in case you can't see what I'm doing. Start Juju, sit him at some games. Yeah, Juju need to play on that. If Juju gonna be there next year and gonna be the quarterback and Coach Prime gonna be the head coach, if you don't think Salt is the guy, then run with Juju. I don't want to see Staub on that field no more. But I do think it is hella wrong to take Caden out the game after he scored a touchdown and them kids had some penalties. Because if Juju get out here and Pat Schumer is out here setting him up too, then it proves that you are aligned with Pat Schumer, who's taking you down. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying, like, you go make the change, but them kids are not the problem. Not them quarterbacks, except for Staub. And you see, he keep getting an opportunity over your 5-star. How do you allow that? How do you allow who you said was third string to get in over your 5-star when your season is trash? Because maybe you don't want your 5-star to get out there and get set up like you know Caden is. Because you know who the problem is, because you was going to bring in Byron Leftwich. Time for a new OC and DC, right? And I don't know if we get, and that's the crazy part. I don't even know if we're gonna get a new DC because they gave Livingston all of that money. Of course, Schumer doesn't have a contract, so he can get the hell on. That's one part of the problem. These people have scored 52 points on Colorado. That's the other problem. And they signed him to a long-term contract. Why they do that? That's why I'd be like, you know what? Just give me my $44 million. I'm going to get the hell on and go to another school. Who told them to go out there and sign Rob Livingston all that money? Why did he have to be the highest paid defensive coordinator if he's not going to be the coach next year? Because you got 52 points ran on you. And we know that wasn't Coach Prime idea. Juju should have been a number 2 QB in the first place because he was a pure pack. Right. I totally agree. And Colorado's defense is trash. That told you that them guys from last year is the reason Livingston got paid. And I blame Colorado for that making that mess, because they definitely made a mess with that. They need to change the they better be rotating on defense too. You know who I haven't seen? Kaden Salter's brother. He need to be out there playing too. The damn score 52-14. You might as well put all of them other guys in. What's the point of still running these other guys that allow 52 points? I think we don't have the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator last year. We would have been in the playoffs. Probably. Shit, that's year one. if Coach Prime would have just brought them people from Jackson State with him to year one, they would have made probably a bowl game and the playoffs in year one. Maybe they wouldn't have made it far, but they wouldn't have been no 8-4 and then a 4-8, and then you wouldn't have had the enemy around you like that. You came into a new environment with people that you don't know, where people don't even want you to be, and they just all band together against you. And it's happening again. You brought in NFL people and they still banding against you. But they did, what did they show you in the draft? That you can't trust them folks. You say Shedeur gonna continue till his contract expires? I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know. They terminated Tony's contract, right? They can terminate your contract. 52-14. Apparently, Warren Sapp is not at the game. Why people keep saying that? Somebody said that last week. Why are people thinking Warren Sapp is not at the game? It said Juju passing skills are similar to Shedeur. Right. So if you went out and got Caden and you said he's the QB1 because he's a dual threat, you expected to work out, something happened, you go to your pocket passer, Juju. But did you see how Staub got in the number 2 spot? And the players already knew this before we did. That's why you got so many people hurt, so many people out. It's a mess. Oh, it's a lot of empty seats at the game for the first time since Coach Prime been there, y'all. The Arizona fans got together, unless they at their own stadium. Maybe they at their own stadium. Maybe they were at their own stadium cheering on, watching it or something. Glad to see Shedeur support his dad. It's important for people to know that you are loved. Facts. I agree. I agree. I agree. Coaches have checked out too. Yeah. I say it's a tell-all book. It's a tell-all book coming somewhere. Coach Prime position. Coach Prime is in the same position as Kevin Stefanski. See, here's the problem. Who put Coach Prime in that position? Who put Coach Prime in a position to be the same as Kevin Stefanski? Remember, Coach Prime runs the team. Supposedly, anything Kevin Stefanski says goes, right? So anything Coach Prime should say goes too, right? I mean, at the Georgia Tech game, it was all Caden, and I hope Juju can get in. Who inserted Staub into this conversation for him just to make Coach Prime look bad? Who inserted Staub? So Coach Prime not necessarily in the same position as Kevin Stefanski, because he could change it. Why he can't change it? Kevin Stefanski can make all the personnel decisions he wants to. He can even draft the quarterback, and he's not even the GM. Coach Prime brought in his quarterbacks. He recruited all of these wide receivers. And the OC decided to strong arm him into playing stop because he's cerebral. But he also trash. They all cerebral. And then when things go bad, they take Caden out again after Coach Prime goes to Caden and say, I'm going to commit to you. And then they go back to Staub and he throws 2 picks. And it should have been Juju all along. But if you say you're going to stick with Caden, why you take him out? Because you never took Shedeur out. Maybe once or twice. but he always got his job back. It's a lot of strong arming happening, and I'm just shocked that Coach Prime will go for it. He knew hands down before the Georgia Tech game who the 1 and the 2 were. And all we've been watching all season long, whether you know it or not, is jockeying for pole position to make the decision as to who's going to be the quarterback. It's supposed to be Coach Prime's decision, just like it's Stefanski's decision. But it's not. When he went to Caden and told him he was going to commit to him, I'm sure Caden didn't expect, I got to put Staub back in. Why Staub? No, it's some BS happening here. That whole part right there lets you know it's somebody else in here pulling some strings. Because if you knew before Georgia Tech who the 1 and the 2 were, that's who the 1 and the 2 should have been today. I don't have a problem with you taking Caden out. I have a problem with you putting Staub in because you know who he is. That's the problem I have. Colorado got the ball back. Is Juju still the quarterback? Just let Juju play the rest of the season. Let's see how it works. I think Zane should start at tight end. Ack is not physical. Oh, interesting. That's interesting because he was a highly touted recruit. Okay, I still see a lot of kids. I still see a lot of kids. The student section or the buff section, they still out there. All right. Yep, Juju out there. Just leave Juju on out there. So yeah, they're not gonna make a bowl game. That's the plan. Is that what's happening? Fumble ball off the ground. So it don't care. It don't matter who the quarterback is. Like I was saying, it don't matter who the quarterback is. It matters if it stopped though, because he ain't good. I'm like, it just gets worse. If I was Old Miller, I'd be going or staying with Juju all the way. I don't even know if Juju gonna really be there. I mean, we really don't know. Bruh, people saying develop Juju. Who is the quarterback coach? Don't be surprised if Juju gone. I'm waiting on y'all to tell me who the quarterback coach is. Shedeur need to be the offensive coordinator. Now there you go. Now you talking. Staub is Dylan Gabriel. I'm gonna go with it. But the crazy part is Staub don't have NFL aspirations because he know Dylan. Shedeur for OC. Y'all could say Salters is not it. Okay, all right. We got 3 games left, people. If you start Juju, let's see what Pat Schumer do. Because I don't think Pat Schumer want Juju to be the starter next year. I think holding Juju back and holding Caden back was to get Caden out the way so Staub can emerge. Because explain to me how Staub is QB2. When the season started, it was Caden and Juju. See that part right there? I'm not gonna let that part go because that's the part that tells me that it's some things happening over there that shouldn't be happening. That makes no sense. This is why they're not gonna win. Yeah, I don't think they want Juju to be I don't think they want the players that Coach Prime picked at quarterback to actually be the quarterback of the team. I think they want to choose who the quarterback is. And since we're in the season and you can't be picking and choosing, they try to force Staub up. Remember, they set Staub up to look good in a 2-minute drill. He was an absolute disaster at U of H. Disaster. And he was just a disaster out there tonight. Why is he even an option? Ponder should be the third option. Juju should be the second, but that would mean there's 3 black quarterbacks. Another touchdown. 58-14. I guess it's gonna be 59. Flag on the play, number 77, Arizona. So they called it back. That's it, guys. It said besides the playmaker, Coach Prime has no friends besides the playmaker. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. The defensive players from last year got Livingston that contract, right? And it's crazy that CU would give him that. I'm like, how are you just gonna issue out that make him the highest paid defensive coordinator like that? And they hadn't even given Coach Prime his contract, and I think that irritated Coach Prime, which is why he would say things like, y'all worried about the offense, but what about the defense? I think that whole thing just irritated the hell out of him because how did this? I don't have my contract and you make him the highest paid. And look at how it's going with the defense this year. And while they might not re-sign Schumer, they still got Livingston. I don't know why they felt the need to enrich him. Those fans shook. Oh, the stands are empty. I think I see the end zone look like it's empty. I can't see, panning to the left and to the right. 52-14. I thought it was like 59. Was it a field goal or something? Coach Prime need to get college-minded coaches to coach the offense and no old wash NFL coaches. Yeah. Now remember, in year one, he had college-minded coaches. That didn't work out. So in year two, he went for the NFL coaches. And people thought it worked out. But in year three, we see that was the players that went to the NFL. Right? So now we're in year three with NFL coaches and they're not working out. But if you knew this from year two, then why are they still here? And even if they have to stay because they have contracts, how is it that you allow them to run this shit into the ground? You could see from the Georgia Tech game that Pat Schumer was a problem. And I said, I hope he don't let it bleed out. They talking about the players. Somebody on the sideline, one of the fans' abs. The draft revealed a lot, right? Schumer will be there. His contract is out. Yeah, I think Schumer is contract ends this year. All of them empty seats. I can't see the seats empty, but if y'all say they empty, then they empty. As long as playing Juju doesn't mess up his red shirt year, I'm cool with it. And I ain't gonna tell you that ain't the case because Pat Schumer's still the play caller, right? The players don't need to embarrass themselves in a bowl game. Arizona is about to score. Yeah, they did. 50, it's 52-14. Rebuilding year. You think that's what it is, Elaine? A rebuilding year? How many rebuilding years do black coaches get? Because at Colorado, Coach Prime is the fourth black coach, and most of them have an average tenure of 2 years. Wasn't year one a rebuilding year? And the way they out here firing coaches right now, worse than the Utah game. Yup. Texas Tech won. I'm a Red Raider fan for life. Oh, okay, Nicole. You went to Texas Tech. All right. What news say you just can't explain it? Actually, you can. King Ty said you got to go, Nicole. No, she don't have to go. She can stay. Juju won't be at Colorado next year. Some people are saying he's gone. It was a rumor that he was gone. Hell, I ain't sure Coach Prime gonna be at Colorado next year. I got to wait to see that first. I ain't convinced because again, we going 3-9 or 4-8. That's it. And if it's 4-8, that's the message. Understand there are people that have paid Livingston that are allowing this to happen. Livingston laughed when Coach Prime was coming for him. But Coach Prime need to have that same energy for Pat Schumer. And that's the problem. He doesn't. Held for the touchdown, but the ball got the 3. Oh, okay. Hilo made those adjustments last year for Livingston. They said he's really like a good quarterback or whatever. I just never understood why Coach Prime brought all of those players from Jackson State and didn't the coaches and didn't elevate them. I don't understand why in year one Bertalone wasn't the OC, because wasn't he the OC when Shedeur was the quarterback at Jackson State? Or am I wrong? I think he was. I don't understand why Bertalone wasn't the OC. I don't understand why whoever the hell it was that was a DC didn't come. I don't know why they had to go get all new people. That put you at a disadvantage to not bring your staff with you. That's what coaches do. They go from this school, well, I'm going to bring this person with me. Coach Prime started with a new OC and a new DC. That didn't work out. And then seemingly we thought it worked in year 2. It was Shedeur. One thing about Shedeur, we could have been down 17-0. I think that Texas Tech game started off slow. But he's that quarterback. He's that guy. That's why he was number 1 this time last year. Caden was number 15 when the season started. But they made sure to kill his career. Let's see if they try to kill Juju's too. Because Pat Schumer is still calling the plays. I wouldn't be surprised if Schumer and Stefanski talk on the phone about, hell, I think they texted. Screw the phone. Text. Emoji. Yeah. Screw talking. Because you can talk and you can't text. So, yeah, I get that, Tina. Where is the guy that recruited and hired Coach Prime? I don't see him. People say they don't see him as much as you used to. Probably because they paid Livingston. You can't ignore that. That was savage. I said it then. I said, that's dirty. Pat Schumer needs to be investigated for connection to the mafia for gambling or games. He making a killing. He probably doing it out of sheer joy because Shedeur called his own plays. CU has to win the rest of the season to make a bowl game. Okay, so we have to win the other 3. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see who the quarterback going to be. It better not be Staub, though. But you see, that's who they pushing up as the 2, thinking Caden gone. See, that's all they trying to do is push Staub in position to move Juju out the way. So I'm going to hold back Caden and put in and make Staub QB2. So if Caden do bad, I can go to Staub. I have a justification. There's no reason for Juju to be behind. And his parents did not have him to graduate from school a year early to come back up Staub, whether it's in a game or next season. So don't be surprised if the next 3 games, even if Juju start, go the same way. Slow in the beginning, run. No escapability. We'll see. Sad that the fans took over the stadium. I still see a lot of people, guys. Oh, the fans, I see what y'all mean. They do have a lot of people missing. We do have a lot of people missing. The season is over for CU. It's that why they got this shirt off. I'm so confused. Something has to change. This is embarrassing. Juju slinging that ball. Yep. Which means he should have been QB2 all along. I don't know why they decided they wanted to bring in a veteran college QB instead of just rolling with Juju. Again, I keep asking y'all who is the quarterback coach. He's the QB for the rest of the year. All right, we'll see. It's Juju's team next year. Let's see if it's Coach Prime team next year. Because if they trying to force up Staub, there are people that are allowing Staub to be positioned ahead of Juju, just like Dylan ahead of Shedeur. It's the same thing. This is about black quarterbacks versus white quarterbacks. So the media likes Juju. They said it's a good spark, so they think Coach Prime will find a way to keep going with him or whatever. Coach Prime's scared to put Juju out there, though. He's scared. You know why? Pat Schumer. See, I am of the opinion. Now, this is my opinion. I am of the opinion that Coach Prime knows that Pat Schumer's problem. But because Shedeur could overcome it, he expected Caden to as well after the Georgia Tech game. He didn't think it was a problem before the Georgia Tech game because his lineup and his QB 1 and 2 was Caden and Juju. He even said it around the Delaware game. I have to protect that kid. What happened? Caden and Juju got sacked. Pat Schumer's play calling because Pat Schumer trying to push up Staub because he's white. Coach Prime knows this. But you see, when they took Caden out the game, mind you, they didn't bench Omarion, they didn't bench Yaya, but Caden got to come out the game. They didn't go to Juju, QB2. Staub is sitting at QB2, which means if Caden leaves, when he leaves next year, they're going to pressure Coach Prime to elevate Staub to QB1. And what that's going to do for Juju, he going to bounce. That's the plan. I'm trying to wreck your recruiting, wreck the people, the influence that you brought in. I'm trying to push it out before I can get rid of you. Then again, I might want you to stay and just do what I want you to do. And that's roll with Staub or Colton Allen or somebody that's not his choice. That's the problem. I said it was a power struggle on after the Georgia Tech game. Coach Prime is a cash cow. Okay, y'all keep thinking it. Yeah, when he goes somewhere new and they're in a desperate fashion. They've sold out season tickets 3 years in a row. All they got to do, let's say the last game. Let's say they replace Coach Prime with one game left. And they're like, get somebody else to call the plays. Let's say it's Livingston. Let's say he win in grand fashion. What you think gonna happen next year? They're gonna show up. The coach that they fired midway through the season that went 1-11, he was black. I didn't even know that. And now they working on Coach Prime to put Staub out there. And they know it's not gonna work out. But you still want me to play Staub. I'm gonna lose Juju, but you still want me to play Staub. I got to bench Caden. I'm gonna cause chaos, but you still want me to play Staub. That's trying to tell Coach Prime, we gonna choose for you. We may have paid you all this money, but now you got to do what we say. What did Cleveland expect from Myles Garrett after they paid him all that money? I'll tell you what they didn't expect. They didn't expect him to gravitate towards Shedeur, because I know you saw me intimidate Jerry Jeudy. I know you know the vibe around here. And now they want to trade him because he made a decision for himself to use his voice. So I paid Livingston before you. And I know that irritated you. And now your season is trash. And you picked all these quarterbacks, Cater, you didn't pick Ponder, you didn't pick Juju. I don't want you to play with them. I want you to play with Staub. And he goes for it. Alienated Cater, causing problems in the locker room. So U of H was a disaster. And here we go, round 2. Caden does well here, does well there. Play calling straight trash versus Utah. But Pat Schumer still has a job. Nobody else is up there calling the plays. There's actually somebody standing up there at one point we can see on camera looking down to see what he got going on. So Caden actually trying to make something happen. Actually gets one touchdown, then he gets another one. But mind you, he don't even get no run pass options till after Arizona's up 17-0. So when he starts to make something happen, and he actually gets one touchdown, he gets another one, the players themselves, 2 of them caused the penalty calling back that touchdown. So you go into the locker room at half, and you come back out without the quarterback that had just got warmed up. And you go to the one who shouldn't be even on the QB2 side at all. You go to Staub, the one we told you we want you to play with. And he a disaster. Well, now you can go to Juju. I wonder how people feel about knowing Juju have to sit behind Staub when he came out of high school a year early. To listen to the OC only talk about Staub and how he's cerebral, and I like the way he plays quarterbacks. He thinks like a quarterback. And once again, Juju is held behind Staub. You'd have defeated Caden. Now you're working on Juju. So Staub can be the guy that you want him to be next year, because when you came in here at year one, you brought your Louis luggage with you and you overlooked Staub. And then when your son left and we retired his jersey, you still overlooked Staub and we got two more black quarterbacks. So we're going to force you to keep playing this white one by any means necessary. Pay attention to the last 3 games. It don't even matter who the quarterback is. It matters who the play caller is for offense. And the defense ain't letting you get nothing either. The only way these two, Livingston and Schumer, can get away with this is for the same reason Kevin Stefanski could get away with it. Because his boss allows it. Maybe that's why you ain't seen the AD. That boy Wig said Coach Prime is learning the hard way that this world is a cold, lonely place. Can't trust no one. It said almost everyone he thought on or through thought was on his side is throwing him otherwise. Right. And Coach Prime is rich, right? He's wealthy. So I don't know what he thought, right? But I know he don't run around thinking he know better than anybody else. I know that. You could tell he's not that kind of person. But I do believe that because he is Deion Sanders, that he thought that what normally takes down black coaches wouldn't take him down at Colorado. I think he thought that. He said he was glad that the athletic director didn't look at people's ethnicity, but there was already a pattern with the other black coaches there before him. He just became number 4. He wasn't those 3 in Deion Sanders. He's number 4 right now. This is his second time. Hell, they tried to take him down last year, but Shedeur just Shedeur. Travis is Travis. And the rest of the guys, BJ Green, they all trying to get to the league and get somewhere. These kids might be like, look, I'm going to have to go somewhere else. So they're like, I'm going to just go out here and play football. You can't expect those kids to overcome Pat Schumer. I said that. I said that multiple times. I said, expecting these kids to overcome Pat Schumer when you should just fire him. I still don't know who the quarterback coach is. The reporters were actually pointing out that Caden wasn't even being developed last week. There was no plan in place for him of what to do when you're pressured. What was that about with Pat Schumer hugging Caden? What was that about? Because he came out and did the same thing in the next game. What was that about? Things aren't right. I hate to say it, but they screwed him over. But knowing how trash the NFL is, maybe this guy way of looking out for Caden to push him off the NFL path before he goes to the NFL draft and get embarrassed to sit there and go undrafted. Just go on with your life and do something else. Just go try out for the team. Because if he thinking that that's not going to touch him, he also wrong. And I do think he kind of thought that as well. He said his mentor is Malik Willis because, to be honest with you, I don't really see nobody kind of gravitating towards him. They all gravitate towards Juju. But then they still put Staub in front of Juju. I don't know if y'all know how messy and chaotic that is. Pat gone at the end of the season. Let's see who else gone with him. Juju should go to a good program, need better coaches. Let's see if they retaliate against him for leaving USC to come to Colorado. Did you see how Warren Sapp got criticized for his gimmick of kicking? Yup, I saw it. I sure did. I saw it. Thurman was a DC at JSU, but had another position at CU. Then he left after that. I wonder what happened. I'm starting to get the impression that Coach Prime had to choose other people that he couldn't bring. So I don't know if we're going to ever get to this truth, but I'm going to say it's crazy as hell that I could come be the head coach at CU, but I can't bring my OC and DC with me. That ensures I mean, I don't know the story behind that, but now I need to know the story behind it because Brett Burlow is still over there and he's still not calling the plays. And everybody has posted on X a picture of Brett Burlow. Just give him the damn headset. Why is it so hard? Because he can't, which means his bosses are not on his side. I don't think Coach Prime wants us to know that Pat Schumer running the show. And you know Pat Schumer running the show because Staub came out of there. You know how bad it looks for Coach Prime to recruit Juju as a 5-star and Staub keep getting the QB2 spot? One thing about being a leader, you can't make everybody happy. That's number one. All right. You have to absolutely know who you could trust. That's two. And number three, which should be number one, you have to know when people are using you and setting you up to fail. You have to know that. And number four, you can't be black and think that racism ain't gonna touch you. Whether you think it don't exist, or whether you think you too rich or you too famous. Because that's the lesson right now. That's the lesson in the draft. We're 17 to 32, and we don't want your Sanders football family legacy. That's the lesson in the draft. And if you ask me, that's the lesson at Colorado. And I go back to what I said before, that the only reason I think they went and got Coach Prime from Jackson State was to disrupt what he had going on for HBCUs at Jackson State. Let's see how it work out. Because ain't no point in you wearing a headset up and you not doing nothing and things aren't working out. You ain't in control. You telling us that. So why should they keep you? Yep, Elaine, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. They made Obama's second term hell. Probably talked about Coach Prime and Shedeur and how he doesn't like them. Yeah, ain't no telling. If CU was 8-0, would you think he leave then? Oh, he talking about Juju. Yep, same thing. I think they are playing stop instead of Juju to preserve his red shirt. Okay. Okay. I heard Pat Schumer's interview. He didn't talk about Juju, Ponder, or Caden. He talked about style. And that's who got out there. They got other quarterbacks. They got 5 quarterbacks. They could have put Ponder out there. Tell me why Ponder hasn't been out there. You know what Staub is, but you got Staub going in over Juju. Fine. Why not put Ponder? Why not? Why does it have to be Staub? Because he's the one they chose. This just like Quinn Ewers. They ain't choose him. They chose Staub. Could be his last name. Do your research. Do your research on Schumer's last name too. CU stayed with Juju and win 3 games. They go to a bowl game. Pat Schumer gonna let them get to a bowl game because I'm pretty sure they're not taking down Coach Prime so he can get to a bowl game. Keep overlooking that fact. That's why I didn't watch the game. That's what I'm saying. Pat Schumer calling the plays. They ain't letting nothing happen. When we're out of bowl contention, we might win another game. But if the goal is to go 4-8 to send a message for year one, or worse than year one, it's to say he can't coach. They already saying he don't even need to be at Colorado. When in the first quarter of the game, when and no run pass options to call or nothing, Coach Prime can't coach, and Caden not a good quarterback. Let's see what happened if Juju start the next game, or is it gonna be stopped? The same thing that's happening at a lot of places is also happening at Colorado. And I think because of the people Coach Prime has around him, he felt insulated. But the NFL made sure he know he not. And now you don't see the athletic director coming around while Pat Schumer taking down the team or Coach Prime chasing after Livingston. You don't see that. They paid Livingston all that money for a reason. They give Ponder a chance too, right? That's what I'm saying. Why not Ponder? Because it has to be stopped. Now, K-Salt ain't built like Shedeur. No, he's not. K-Salt not built like the Shedeur, but it's wrong to expect Kato Salter to come in here and one be Shedeur without a goddamn sleeve. That don't make no sense. See, what y'all don't understand is I see Kato be protected from the next level. Because the NFL, that concussion that y'all don't hear Thomas Cassiano's name, Lenore Stella's name. I don't even hear Dante Moore's name no more. I hear Mendoza's. None of those guys are in the top 5 in quarterbacks. They ain't gonna do nothing but humiliate Cater. Best to find out now. That's why it's good to have high profile black coaches at HBCUs. Right. Until everybody start clicking. Because see, right now, it's not a threat. We already went through this with Coach Prime. That's nothing. I asked the question after Norfolk State versus Delaware State. How long before they come to get Deshaun Jackson from what's happening? Same thing. They went and got Florida A&M coach. He at FIU, I think. Taggart, who I didn't know was kind of responsible for drafting LeJohntay, he was on the list of coaches that were bought out at their universities. But he somehow ended up in the NFL with the Ravens. And that's how LeJohntay got there. And that's LeJohntay's old coach. So technically, LeJohntay got drafted by his coach before Colorado, which says what? And yeah, Taggart got bought out for like $18 million. And he made his way to the NFL. Now remember, was it last year? All of the talk about Coach Prime going to the NFL, you don't hear that no more. This is the year if you should be hearing it, right? Oh, he should move on to the NFL because CU don't want to do right. You don't hear that. But that's what should be hearing, but they already know. The NFL already cut that off. And then he got his contract. He got his contract before the draft. He thought that was on him. Crazy situation in Cleveland. Facts. 52-14. I don't even, are these kids really still playing? Who out there? Hiding at an HBCU is not going to help. HBCU play with the permission of Southern states that are located in. Like I said, when they all start clicking, it'll be a problem. They don't care about that right now. They know if he start winning, just go offer him a job and more money like you did Prime, and he'll run over to PWI too. They have done it multiple times. I don't know why you think CU was the place for Coach Prime. It wasn't for the other black coaches that they had. Hell, one of them went 4-8. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I think the first one went 4-8. They booted him out. They all get 2 years. The other one, Mel Tucker, he started writing on the wall. He was in the midst of a losing season. They came and offered him this fat contract for like $88 million or something crazy at Michigan State. And then guess what happened? He got set up. He might be there next year. I don't know who. I mean, if Livingston's still there, I don't know. But they paid Livingston a lot of money for a reason before they paid Coach Prime. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why it seemed like he didn't have control over his first year OC and DC. I really think the way this ends, I really think they came and got him to disrupt what was happening at Jackson State. I keep that post that shows all of the views, the prime effect, and everything happening, and then they're saying that Colorado was AD saw that and was like, oh, we need somebody that could turn around a program like that. But did they let him bring his own people? Because I don't. If that was not his choice, if that was his choice to go get outsiders, then he set himself up. The world you going to, just like somebody clearly put Pat Schumer on his path. Because I don't. Here's the thing. This year don't matter because you knew what happened last year. You knew Shedeur had to overcome Pat Schumer. How could you not know? I mean, we all see it now. So that means you knew. And letting him finish out his year, even with him saying that Shedeur was like Daniel Jones, he could have come back to my job. Bayard targeting. Oh, he disqualified for the rest of the game. What is it? The fourth quarter with 8 minutes left or whatever. Bayard is one of the best players they have on defense. That he just got kicked out. The athletic director in college is the same as the general manager of professional sports. Okay. They all work together, right? And what you should have learned by the NFL is they all stick together. And that the ones they do bring in with the melanin get used. You should see that right now. Even Stephen A called it out. I was like, oh, he must want back in. Even Stephen A called it out about what happened in Miami with the GM. I'm like, how do you not bench Tua, but you fired a GM? And I said they probably only made him the GM because they fired Brian Flores with a winning record. So I want to take the heat off of me and say I'm not racist. Yeah, that's not what you're doing. That's not what you do. Just find a way to show. Let me grab onto a black person and say so we don't look and appear. That's what Andrew Barry is about. Yeah. Why would I let Stefanski choose the quarterback? He the head coach. They let Stefanski do Andrew Barry job, and they want to fire Andrew Barry when the team is trash. Not Stefanski. He's not the typical grassroots civil rights movement oriented person. Who are you talking about? Oh, Hall of Fame life has shielded him from racial injustice. I don't know how, because the higher you go, the worse it get. I don't know. I don't know. Interesting point. Interesting point, right? I just think many of us aren't grassroots civil rights people, right? And there's only so much shielding from racism you can get. Kids, it's easier to shield them because they're young. They don't know what's going on. But adults, Coach Prime lived a lot of life. But, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. The point is, one day we'll find out how it is his first OC and DC came to be, because that don't make no sense for them people to come and get you from Jackson State because y'all winning and you to turn around this program and you bought your Louis luggage, which is the players, but you don't bring the OC and the DC. That don't make no sense. And you sure can't expect nobody on this squad right here to be Travis or Shedeur. Those kids have exceptional talent and didn't need coaching. So everybody, in my opinion, been skating by off of their talent. Somebody from Colorado finna score. Reggie Hughes, interception. There we go. Interception. They're doing LaJonte's little dance. 197 of us hit the like button. It said Coach Prime said the jersey retirement was the athletic director idea, but the media blames Coach Prime. Yeah. That's facts. That's facts. Yep, that's facts. Juju should go to UCLA. They have a black OC. They had a black head coach today. Fired him. I wouldn't go there either. I wouldn't go there either. I don't know where he gonna end up, to be honest. I don't know how they gonna treat him. I don't know what's gonna happen the next 3 games, but I know they're gonna talk about it. And I know I saw enough in the Delaware game, and I heard Pat Schumer's press conference. He was all about Staub, and Staub ran back out there today. in front of Juju, which is crazy to me. So we're going to see what happens. It would be very interesting if Prime could not bring his own OC and DC when he came to Colorado. This is not typical that a new head coach could not bring his people with him. All right, let's talk about that. While we got some time left on this game, the score is 52-20 with Reginald Hughes scoring an interception, and there are a lot of empty seats. All right, let's talk about this. Right, since this year is turning out like year one, right? And I say the OC is a problem right now. Likely was a problem last year, but Shedeur could overcome it. I think Coach Prime's angst with Caden is Caden wasn't overcoming the plays, but Shedeur had a sleeve. Shedeur had a sleeve. Caden does not. They don't even have the same setup. So when you go to a school, you looking at what happens with the other quarterback, you thinking you're going to come in here, make your own plays, call audibles. You don't even get a sleeve. And when you do good, they take you out not once in a year, but now again. And nobody else gets benched. Amarion don't get benched. Yaya doesn't get benched. Just you. And they keep bringing out the third string quarterback in front of Juju. Kaden and Juju are friends. They know what's going on. And that's one of the reasons I said I could see Juju getting the hell up out of here. But he got to make sure that they don't make him look bad, because after that Delaware game, the media was hyping up Staub and tearing down Juju. See, y'all think this is a good thing. Not if Pat Schumer's calling the plays, it's not. And since we're talking about how did the first OC and DC come to be, if you could bring your own Louis luggage, why didn't you bring your OC and DC from Jackson State? And why, when things are bad with the play calling, don't you swap them out to that same DC from OC from Jackson State who's on the staff? Did Thurman leave for the same reason that Byron Leftwich left? See, I can hire you to win or make me money, because that's probably what it is. I can hire you to disrupt me from somewhere else. But that means I have to let you lead. I can tell you what to do. I can let you think you're leading and get you to hire Pat Schumer, and ultimately he running everything, including who the quarterback is from the sideline, and you take the heat from your fans. This is the first time people have left CU's games like this. Who's the quarterback, guys? Let's see who we got. We checking to see who the quarterback is. 52-14. They must have called. Did they call something back? I thought it was 52-20. Oh, Juju out there. Okay. What happened to 52-20? That boy wig, I'm gonna put a star by that. That is very interesting, because we don't know. I wonder what Shedeur's perspective of this game and these players. He probably happy Juju playing, if we're being honest. I blame the players this game. Yeah, this game. Yeah, but not from the beginning, though. Not from the beginning. But I do blame them. Yeah. But not in the beginning. I blame the play calling to come out too slow to give the other team 17-0, and then the defense. Right. And that's a good point that's on the screen. Coach Prime, not only the Prime effect, and it's true. If he was going to be at Jackson State one more year, there was recruits coming in like crazy. And he had already flipped Travis Hunter. That's facts. That's facts, that boy. That's facts. So that makes the case that they came to get Coach Prime short term to disrupt what he had going on. And then we going to benefit from it, quid pro quo. We going to benefit from it while we hold on to you and suffocate that. How long before Deshaun Jackson is next? They did it with FAMU head coach. They were winning. They took their coach to FIU. I think it's FIU. Yeah. They took, I think he wanted to leave though. Eddie George, Tennessee won a championship with Eddie George. And they took him and he had Bowling Green. Disruption. First arrow throw with high pressure, and in my opinion, an interception. It said West Virginia beat Houston, may not win another game. Uh-oh. West Virginia beat Houston? Oh, wow. Turning the ball over. We are out of a bowl game. Bro, we out of the season. What game was that we won? I said, I don't think we were supposed to win that game. It was the game where, before Utah, it was where Tawfiq Bayard had on a cast and the defense got it done. They wasn't expecting that. They wasn't expecting that. See, that's what used to happen when Shedeur, Travis, and the guys that are in the NFL, if something was going on with the offense, the defense could hold it down. Or if the defense couldn't hold it down, Shedeur could come back. This team ain't built like that. This team not even set up for that. Why? Caden don't have a sleeve. So that means all of the plays got to come from Pat Schumer, which means I control what you do. Why would Coach Prime give Pat Schumer that kind of control with Caden, but not with Shedeur? Why, when Caden is actually doing good, making something happen, why he got to get benched for style twice? Just saying. He talking about everybody left the game. They got what they wanted. CP number is up. He has to go. I don't know. We're going to see. Juju is locked in. Salter free agent trading should start tomorrow. I don't know if Juju's locked in. I think a lot of people, them kids, going to be in that portal. I really do. Play Mike Singletary. Say you want winners. Them both coordinators, some from Cincinnati and Minnesota. Reginald Hughes got the ball again. Schumer serves as both the OC and QB coach for CU. And there you go. There you go. Problematic. Because the only quarterback he talk about is Staub. That's why Staub is QB2. See, that tell you right there. Coach Prime brought in Juju, but who is QB comes out at QB2? Even if you are trying to protect his red shirt, he came out at QB3. It looks like that's the order. That's crazy. What was the spread for this game? Anybody know? Eddie Robinson, he stayed down at Grambling State and never left at HBCU. Did he have a choice? Did they want him to? George is back. He talking about the team ain't good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it said, yep, couldn't have that replicated at HBCU. So what we're talking about, if you're just not joining us, that boy Wig brought up an excellent point. He brought up a point. I said, depending on how this ends, it's looking like from where we sit right now that Colorado, knowing their history with black coaches, they only get about 2 years. And the only one that had a long-term contract, they went back on it. And he was having a losing season. He started writing on the wall. He gets a call from Michigan State to come over there, and he got set up, and he just out of coaching altogether. I said, I'm starting to believe that because Coach Prime was bringing all the attention, the money, and the recruits. That's the part that boy Wig added. That Coach Prime flipped Travis. That they couldn't have that. So they decided which school amongst themselves was going to go and get him. And it turned out to be Colorado because they keep firing black coaches. So let me go get another one. But then we trying to figure out how is it in year one that Coach Prime can bring his Louis luggage, which is the players, but not his own OC and DC from Jackson State, which is supposedly the reason they went to get Coach Prime because they were successful. So why is it that I don't bring my OC and DC? And people point out that the OC, Brett Bertolone, is still working for Colorado, but he can't get the headset from Pat Schumer even when things are bad. But Caden can get benched for Staub, who's really QB3, in front of Juju, who's QB2. Pat Schumer has only talked about one quarterback on that roster, and that is Staub. which explains why Staub is QB2. So they let Coach Prime bring all of his optics with him and was taking him down in year 1. And then in year 2, we're thinking it's fixed. Come to find out, Shedeur out here calling his own plays because he got a sleeve. In year 3, Caden is expected to overcome Pat Schumer. Why? Why you didn't bring your OC and DC? Supposedly the DC from Jackson State did come to Colorado, but got a different job and left. Byron Leftwich came in. It was supposed to be something and left. I would imagine that the people that the NFL kicks out because they Black, they don't want to see in college football being successful, having influence on who the quarterbacks are. Coach Prime had 3 Black quarterbacks when the season started. Last year, Mike Tomlin had 2 Black quarterbacks when the season started. This year, he has 0. Let's see how many Black quarterbacks Coach Prime have next year, if he's still there. Because the way they buying out these quarterbacks, these head coaches, the way they holding down these Black quarterbacks, Pat Schumer ain't working alone. Neither is Kevin Stefanski. I also wonder why they haven't played Ponder. Right. Because Pat Schumer. Hell, the fact that he got, if he truly the quarterback coach and the OC and making the decisions, the fact that he had Staub in before Juju makes me wonder how the hell they finally decide to get him out the game and put in Juju. Juju should have been the second option. I'm not staying at Colorado if I'm the third option behind Staub and Caden leaving. I already know you're trying to make me the second option behind Staub because you just want to roll with Staub because he was here first. And I think they feel like, well, look, we let you have your son. But look at how that worked out. And what did Pat Schumer say? Bayard will be out the first half of the next game as well. Well, there you go. The officials are being tough on CU in a losing game. Right. Sis shielded until now. That is Coach Prime. I guess so. They said a documentary is in motion. Don't forget, Netflix has a documentary coming out on Coach Prime next year. They're going to try it with Deshaun Jackson, but I think Deshaun Jackson is too street smart for the okie dokie. We're going to see because money talks, right? People that were upset that Coach Prime left Jackson State felt like he left for the money. I don't think he left for the money. I think there's another faction of people who believe he left because Shedeur would never be considered a Heisman candidate at Jackson State because it was HBCU. That's true. Could be why they made sure he wasn't considered a Heisman candidate over here. But I think that had more to do with the pecking order and the draft. If he would have been on the Heisman stage, how can you say that he's a 5th round draft pick? Warren Stapps looks disgusted talking to Coach Prime. Right, because the defense is trash. They called back the touchdown. That's it. It seems that a lot of kids should be in the portal within OC. Right. Here's the thing. The kids know what it is. The kids know what it is. They know what it is. They just thought he was going to do something about it. The kids that was there last year know what it is because they know what Shedeur did. They also know what happened to Shedeur in the draft. They also know that Pat Schumer said Shedeur was like Daniel Jones, the one that had failed for 6 years. Them kids know what time it is. Who the hell let Colton Hood leave, but it worked out for him? And these kids also see that. I don't really know what Omarion gonna do. He might declare himself in the draft and just let the chips fall where they may, or he might hop in the portal and go to another school. Then again, he might not have a choice because I ain't convinced Coach Prime gonna be here next year. They buying out these high dollar contracts like it's nothing. They say LSU don't have, they fired their AD, they president, and they fired their head coach. I said, oh, Kyron Lacey. Kyron Lacey's parents are speaking out. The dad said the head coach never even called them at all. The mom said in her stories that I liked that it's a lot of things she hasn't said. I said, I have a podcast. If you want to come on, I'm happy to give you a platform. She liked my post. I gave her the name of the channel. Y'all know I told y'all what it is. Ain't no way the head coach response should have been what it was if he really cared for the young man and didn't know about what was going on. Now they all gone. Let's see how long it take before the truth come out about why they all gone. I told y'all the district attorney's office had to know the president of the school and the head coach because she went to UCLA Law School. Now they all gone. And they wasn't having a losing season. And his buyout was $56 million. Wait till they find out that young man's grand jury trial was strategically placed 2 weeks before the draft to devalue him in the draft. Isaiah Bond, same thing. Arrested 2 weeks before the draft on some trumped up charges that he's now filing federal charges. If that ever come out. See, people can tell you, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. You can scapegoat anybody you want. But there gets to be a time that the truth comes together, right? Just like Cleveland. We know Stefanski not working alone. Many of us know Haslam is the problem. Now their fans are seeing, oh, it's not the coach. It's not the players. It's not the quarterback. It's the owner. Because it happened before Stefanski got there. That's how Haslam likes to get down. Not like Colorado. They done had 3 black coaches that's been there for 2 years. And the only one that had the long-term contract went to Michigan State and got promptly set up. Coach Prime is the longest tenured black coach at Colorado. Look how that's going. People who don't want to see the race, they don't feel it. What they say, if you can't hear, you're going to feel it. If you don't want to see it, you're going to feel it. That's all it is. People don't want to act like they don't know what it is, but that's what it is. They just trying to hurt Canaan draft stock, and they have succeeded. So they hurt Shedeur's. They succeeded in that too. You know what? That's true. I'm going to agree with that. Okay, here's one of the problems we have, right? Like she said, loyalty. And I don't even know if the term is loyalty. We don't have anything to protect, so we create and we sell. You know why? Because we don't focus on family legacy. We're not even taught to focus on family legacy. People say it all the time. Y'all gonna sell grandmama house? Other coaches don't do that. Now, I know people that have told their kids to make sure they sell the house. They ain't right either. Because you're taking something from your kids. You want them to sell it, okay. And do what? Legacy. When I heard them Shiloh talking today, he understands family legacy. He understands that they are a tight-knit unit and that's what they're supposed to be. But the host was asking him questions about individualism. And you know what I was running around the house thinking, getting ready for this show? They don't ask white people to move off their family last name like the Hiltons. And I thought to myself, you know what I said to myself? Because I didn't even know we was going to have this conversation. I said to myself, when the Hiltons make reservations, they happily use their last name. They happily use their legacy to move forward. But everybody want us to move off of ours. The Ball brothers, they wanted them to move off of their family legacy. The Sanders, they want them to move off. Why they happily holding up who? The Mannings. The Kelseys. They want to hold that up, but they want us to be individuals and tear down what the Sanders have built. I applaud the Sanders for dealing with that because, you know, we say they're dealing with it, but I don't even know what they really know is what's really going on. I mean, you kind of got to know, right? I don't know if Shiloh know either. That's what it is. They don't want the Mannings to get ahead of the Sanders. I don't know if they see it like that. That's what it is. Look at who they're trying to bring in and who they're holding back and what team everybody involved with. Look at Dylan going to the Manning Passing Academy. It's the Mannings. They don't want to talk about that. Some people upset that Stephen A. even mentioned that race was the reason the GM got fired in Miami. I'm like, what are you shocked for? It's a whole lawsuit out here alleging that NFL is rife for racism and the people settled $1 billion for race norming against Black people. Why are you shocked? That's just as ridiculous as the Miami Dolphins fans to be shocked that they lost. Y'all gonna keep losing. The Browns don't want to win either. The Browns could have had Shedeur out there from day one. They could have made all the money in the world with Shedeur wearing the number 2 jersey and coming out here being QB2 behind Flacco. And when Flacco was done, Shedeur was going to be QB1. That was actually the plan. That's what people thought the plan was going to be. But Stefanski keeps strutting around like a peacock and showing people, I'm in control over here. Just like Pat Schumer showing you he's in control without you even seeing him because of the way the game goes. Who gets in when Caden comes out? Not the 5-star that we brought in. And when we had a 2027 quarterback on the ground that was Black, we gave Caden 12 reps in front of him so he don't come to Colorado. Yep. I don't think Coach Prime gave up. I don't think he gave up. I don't think he's given up. I think he believes to let it bleed out with Pat Schumer's contract ending is the best way to go. But what did he just find out in that last game when he was chasing Doc up the side, Livingston up the side? He gonna be a problem too. They let him know you can't win. Maybe they want him to quit, so they don't have to pay him all that money. So yeah, I believe you're right. I think it's because we have a lack of legacy. We create companies and we sell them off. We don't think about the legacy to leave for our children to pull them up. We think about getting the money and using the money on our kids instead of the business, right? That's how I think. That's how we think. Like, okay, let's take Michael Jordan's legacy, his kids, right? They didn't play ball. That's fine. And he got a daughter too. But he went on to start a business, the trophy room or something like that. And his sons were managing that. But who did his son try to hook up with? And it's like we don't talk about how to build a legacy, that when we actually build something, we want to leave a legacy for our kids so they can have it. A lot of people don't even talk about life insurance. We just at the point where we made it somewhere and we think about what to give our kids so they don't have to struggle like we did in terms of material things. We want them to go to college. But what about the businesses the parents start that they can leave to the kids so the kids can work the business instead of having to go out here and fight and be held back in corporate America? That's why it's like that. We haven't even made it to the legacy conversation. With these gambling scandals happening in sports, couldn't you say Schumer's actions are determining the outcomes of games and should be investigated? Yeah, but I don't think he gambling. But here's the thing. I think there are people that know what he's doing and they are gambling. So yes. But that's a long time ago. And that ain't gonna happen. Because first, Coach Prime got to admit something ain't right. He's willing to stay on the defense is the problem, but on the offense, he thinks it's the quarterback. But then they put Stab out there and he a problem too. And he should have never been out there because he QB3. So we don't even know who's gonna be the quarterback next week. Must be the money. That's what people think. Take a knee before someone gets hurt. What's the credentials for OC and DC position? Does Brett meet the requirements? Yeah, he's the OC from Jackson State. I'm wondering if that might have something to do with it. No, because he's still at Colorado. Brett Bertalon still work there. It is weird that Coach Prime could bring his Louis luggage and the kids, but go get pure strangers, which is how he got set up. And maybe, I don't know, that was a condition. It's weird, don't you think? You would think if I'm going to bring my Louis luggage, I'm bringing everybody. People wonder why he didn't bring Coach Taylor. I thought it was because somebody had to stay there from Coach Prime coaching tree and build up and keep going. And that elevated a lot of other people. That's what I thought. And right now, they're actually sitting prettier. I mean, there's more money over here, but they actually winning. And they won the Celebration Bowl. Coach Prime never won the Celebration Bowl. They went twice. He won the SWAC championships. But Jackson State actually has, and I think they get ready to probably play Prairie View for the SWAC. And if they win the SWAC and go to the Celebration and win too, and now that they got winning under their belt, they over there working on the media. So they started rebuilding the team, rebuilding the coaching staff. They became successful this year. And now they 10 toes in with influencers on the sideline, the media going. They doing good. They back to where they were, not for the most part. But see, with Coach Prime, it was instant. With Jackson State, Coach Prime leaving, they had to rebuild it. But that's fine because that's what the blueprint was for. And with Coach Taylor being black at an HBCU, he got the opportunity to rebuild. There was a reason why last year and this year, the media thought Colorado would go 66 because they knew who the OC was and what was going to happen. Shedeur overcame it, and he's paying for it with his NFL career. They talked about that. He had influence on who the coaches were. You can't always call your own plays, or you can't always do whatever. He had a lot of influence in who the coaches were, and he called his own plays. They don't like that. And he black. You ain't gonna come over here and do none of that. And every day, people feel like his time will come. Okay, they gotta tell you that. Because I see these people wiping out the Sanders football legacy and trying to preserve the Mannings. So, maybe God want the Sanders go start their own football legacy. People keep saying Canada. No, jumping out the fire into the frying pan ain't the way. You got to start your own. That's what's missing. Guys, that's what's missing. We don't have our own league. We are black dominant sports, but they control it. You're not tired of that? We have to have our, why don't we have our own skating leagues? We have our own league for everything. We got our own little football leagues at the bottom. They got flag football for these kids. But at the pro level, we just happy to join. Because we don't come from a generation that remembers black leagues, nor do we understand why they don't exist no more. We just think, oh, they wanted to stop discriminating. No, they didn't. It's the same thing that I'm questioning. Did Colorado go get Coach Prime? Knowing their history with black coaches, they don't get rebuild time. Go get Coach Prime to disrupt what was going on at Jackson State, just like the major leagues disrupted black baseball leagues and black football leagues. That's what I think. Because if I'm still discriminating against you, how was I ever your friend? I wasn't. I was the competition, and you bought out the competition. How many black players are there in Major League Baseball right now? You was better off with your own league. Maybe the next generation will learn. Because you're going to have to go back to it. You're going just like you were forced into it the first time because of exclusion. They exclude you now. All of the legend sons should be out here playing 7-on-7 together. Should be on a podcast talking about this. And not just so you can hold them accountable, so you can tell your story, number one, build your own, and grow, scale and grow your own league. And when people hear your story, they're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to go play over here. Because if Coach Prime could get Travis, and the next year he was also getting other players, getting Coach Prime away from Jackson State is what upended what could have been a rebirth for Black athletes to be successful at Black schools. That ain't necessarily Coach Prime's fault. Because why? Jackson State had a jackass that was appointed probably by the damn state to make sure that Coach Prime felt devalued and that he would be pushed over here. And it worked. A lot of our Black schools, they're Black schools, but they are like Jackson State, they run by the state. Like, we love North Carolina A&T, right? We talk about how North Carolina A&T has 15,000 students this year. That's huge for HBCU. They also owned by UNC. So they're going to let you get as far as they're going to let you get as far as they're going to let you get. They winning right now. But if everybody was winning like that, and then the sports was on point like the bands are, it would be the same thing. Go get Coach Prime 2.0. Michael Vick got 49,000 people coming to his games, and he won in 7. Somebody gonna see that. Matter of fact, right after he signed with Norfolk State, I think that another school tried to get him to come over there. Yep. It's kind of late for that. It's late for that. Jackson State won 41-16 versus Florida. When was this? Florida who? Oh, you talking about FAMU? I work in higher education. In most cases, you have to meet minimum qualifications to work these positions. He had the qualifications. If he didn't have them when he got there, he definitely have them in year 3. He definitely have them in year 3. And matter of fact, Coach Prime elevated Brett Bertolone to, what's the position, guys? Offensive pass coordinator. And then there was Byron Leftwich was supposed to be working with the quarterbacks, I think. So basically, he was taking what Pat Schumer is doing as one person and splitting it up between Brett Bertolone with the passing game, and the quarterbacks was supposed to be Leftwich, which meant Pat Schumer could just focus on the offensive plays. But I guess that wasn't good enough. He had to put his arms around all of it because he had to control it. In order to do whatever they've been talking about doing, he had to have total control, which is why Caden doesn't have a sleeve. It wouldn't surprise me if Brett Bertolone wanted to know why Caden and the other quarterbacks, or Caden for sure, don't have a sleeve, which is why he bounced. It wouldn't surprise me if Thurman started writing on the wall, and that's why he bounced. Juju, now build around him. Salter needs to start. I don't. It said Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick gave tremendous props for paving the way for them at HBCUs. He did. He did. And wow. But what we're saying is the moment they get success for the schools, it's not just about success for themselves. It's not even about that. It's about the recruiting game, because Coach Prime had changed that, right? Coach Prime was one of the first coaches to make the portal do what he did. And remember, they used to be on him about that, right? Coach Prime was getting all of these kids who were thinking of going to white schools to come to HBCUs. They worked too hard to make sure that don't happen. There's a whole separate combine for HBCU players, and they barely use it. That's why I say we have to understand what's going on here. It's not about Coach Prime personally in terms of a PWI come getting him. It seems like it's a good thing for our HBCU coaches to get elevated to PWIs than to only get to the PWIs and get discriminated against and their careers ruined. So guess what I have done? I have upended your PWI career, and I took you for disrupting what you was doing at HBCU. That's 2 for 1. I don't think it was a good idea. I mean, Coach Prime coming to Colorado exposed what's really going on, just like Shedeur being in Cleveland and going to the draft exposed what's really going on. So, I mean, that's letting God use you, but I don't think it was worth it. Think about where HBCUs would be. Look at where they are now. You got a lot more coaches. You would have had that and the players. You would have had the players, the coaches, and the money. Them kids would be getting NIL deals. They knew what they was doing. I like Ray Lewis was talking that they don't have any togetherness. The coaches, they ate together, the players ate together, and the coaches and the players aren't together. Interesting. You talking about when he came in and spoke to the team? Did the game go off? Because I don't know. It's something else on my TV. Maybe it went off. Let's see. Yep, 52-17. All right. Well, no need to look at the stats. No need to look at the stats. That game went off. It's 52-17. Well, guys, I think we all kind of see what's happening here, right? I don't know who the quarterback gonna be next week. I think I'm more focused on how all of this really come about because I do believe that there are already conversations to go get Deshaun Jackson. And if people gonna think, oh, that's good. Yeah, no, it's not. And now 3 years in, knowing Coach Prime was set up in year 1 and in year 3 and possibly year 2, which is why the media thought he was going 6-6 this year and 6-6 next this year and last year. Because of Schumer. We even had the conversation on who really hired Schumer. We had that conversation. Because it was well known that he wasn't good. And his play calling style, it didn't even fit Shedeur's. So it's like they put an apple in front of Coach Prime and maybe he bit it. Because the NFL. And then what did the NFL do this year? Close the door in his face. So you don't even hear Coach Prime to Dallas, Coach Prime to this. Close the door right in his face after they gave Doc the contract. So he wedged in the middle. NFL doors closed. Doc got this expensive contract. The season is trash, just like it was in year 1. And everybody out here putting up double-digit millions to get rid of these coaches. And I'm disrupting your recruiting. I'm disrupting your quarterback recruiting, your player recruiting. I'm going to make sure that your coaching career is trash and that people think that the only reason you was a good coach or successful, you're a good marketer, you get people in the stands, but you can't win the games. That was just, that was Travis. That was Travis. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. And I don't know how many more excuses that could be because, yeah, the kids had a lot of penalties in this game. We already said the kids act like they done checked out. But the only adjustments we keep making are to the quarterback, and we not adjusted to Juju. We adjusted to stop, which tells me we ain't making adjustments at quarterback to improve. We're making adjustments at quarterback to stop, to control a power struggle. And that's why the season is hell. You got to learn if you're a leader, when somebody challenge you for your power, how to eradicate them before they infect everybody else. That's where we at. And now we see the play that you come in to get the quarterbacks that can not only, the coaches that can not only win, but you come in to get the Deion Sanders that can bring the prime effect to HBCUs. Because you don't give Black coaches no time to rebuild. How many times have you heard on any of these podcasts, oh, this is good, it's a rebuilding year for Coach Prime, he'll next year and this will happen? All you hear is that all his players are leaving, he need to be fired, Caden isn't good. That's all you hear. You don't hear nobody talking about rebuilding and him going to the NFL or nothing. Is he not good? He need to be fired. He not good. He need to be fired. Because that's the plan. So we gonna get out of here and go enjoy the rest of our evening. I'm glad I did not dedicate 4 hours to that. I had a feeling it was gonna be bad, and it was. Happy to see Juju got in. I hope it works out for him again next week. If Pat Schumer calling the plays, I stand by what I say, whether it's Juju or Caden, because the only quarterback that Pat Schumer has discussed is style. All right. So we're going to get out of here, guys. Go enjoy your evening. I hope y'all have a good evening. I'm going to enjoy the rest of mine. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe no, might pop up during the day, but I doubt it. We'll be back tomorrow. It's Sunday. Travis is out for 4 games. I think they figured out what's wrong with his knee. And hopefully maybe Jimmy play tomorrow, or LeJounte. I think he just played on Thursday. And Shedeur is a bye week, so they're playing this week. They don't come back till the Jets game, I think, next week. So it might be kind of quiet tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. I might check in with Jalen Hurts and them, see what they got going on, because they stand, the 16 quarterbacks. I did say I was going to do an update. I think I'm going to work on an update for the 16 of the 32 black starting quarterbacks and see where everybody is. And we can kind of check in and see what's going on at the halfway point in the NFL. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.